If to speak about fatigue, I think that there are like two dimensions. If we are speaking about Ukrainian society, I do not see any sociological researches that approve this fatigue, since the level of support of EU is rather stable, and it's not sharply growing, but it's growing steadily. So in terms of society, I cannot say that our society is fatigued of EU, no. But if you are speaking about political level of our political groups, I do not know exactly, since I am not a politician. I am just an expert civil society activist. It's difficult to identify who I am. I think that we have like different groups in our government and in the parliament. Some of them are very enthusiastic about the European integration, and some of them are very skeptical. So I can answer in a such manner. So for me, it's difficult to just to make one general line, because I'm sure that it's impossible to find this general line. And the problem is the next, that this agreement, if we are speaking about association agreement, it's like a huge home task that Ukraine need to do. But if to compare this agreement with some processes in our life, it can be compared with a situation when you are moving in a black tunnel, but you do not see the end of the tunnel because there is no light at the end of the tunnel. And this is the problem, that association agreement currently does not provide any strong motivation in terms of its implementation. And even those people who are very motivated, they will be motivated with membership perspective or without membership perspective. But this is a problem when we are speaking with those groups who do not understand real benefits. Okay, why we should change these norms, what we will receive. Agrarian groups, they understand the benefit precisely good. And they are very supporting, and they are never blocking the processes that are connected with association agreement. But if we are speaking about other kind of business, since parliament it's like the place where business is defending their interest a lot, they do not understand. And I think maybe I am wrong that if we have a membership perspective, it will be like a strong argument to speak with such groups who really do not understand for what they need to implement these very expensive norms. For some of business, it is very expensive. The sad problem is that association agreement, it's a technical agreement. It's agreement about standards. And members of the parliament and politicians, they are not ready to use this language, since you cannot sell it to the public, to the audience. And this is also a strong problem if to speak about association agreement. If to come back to general fatigue, I think I'm not thinking like philosopher, I'm thinking like a person who is observing these processes for the last 5 years. I think that that we should observe the processes that take place in the EU. If EU is currently is thinking how to change relationship with other neighbors to create some idea of new Europe, I think that Ukraine also should be included in these processes, and it will help us very much. If the EU 5 years ago did not provide us with membership perspective, and I think that in the nearest 10 years they will not give us this perspective, I think that now it is the moment when EU should think about some additional carrots.